So good morning, it's the 1st of September and it's time for an April tour. Certainly turned a bit colder the last morning, very autumnal with the degrees of about 9 degrees this morning. The grass is wet, so quite a dew on the grass. So not been fully committed during August down the plot, just due to school holidays and work commitments. So things are a bit of a mess and certainly things need sorting out. But I shall show you how we are as it's the September tour. So let's enjoy. So we're starting right at the very end of the plot as the sun is rising, and we're going to be in the sun otherwise. So this is the end. As you can see, not much has changed. In fact, probably nothing has changed. Still the same. But this is my winter project. This is going to be the fruit garden this end. And this is the mint container, and all the mint started to flower. And one new addition that I have done is made a little compound fenced off, just to store bits and pieces, keep it a bit tidier, but there's still more work in progress. All the odd bits of wood and poles, they're all going to go in here eventually. I did find my greenhouse that had blew away and was actually in the big pile of weeds over the back here. I'm not quite sure how it got there. I'm sure it wasn't the wind, but hey, never mind. So the rose bush is starting to produce some more buds, which is nice to see. But this really needs cutting down. There's some nice rose coming out there. They're all hidden. So this was my next bed along, which is my squash bed. Supposed to be having patties pan squashes around the edge, but every squash that I seem to have planted seems to be a courgette. So excuse the weeds, I'm really not bothered about these. But the pumpkin at the back there has decided to grow up the arch, so at least it's getting used. And I also believe there's a pumpkin in here somewhere. Can you see it? There somewhere. But yeah, I agree. This does need a weed. And there's the pumpkin growing up the arch. So in this one, this is where I had the onions, and now I have a yellow courgette. Which is okay. The next bed along here, this was a courgette, but it's gone a bit crazy, a bit mad. But it will just get in the compost bin. And the cucumber on the outside is just a bit scraggy. But in the middle here we've got some tomatoes. These are just the random tomatoes. They were in the tunnel. They've gone a bit random, but the tomatoes are growing. Just need to find a way to get in and get them. So my next bed is cauliflowers and sprouts, although I think the cauliflowers are done. But there is a few sprouts in here, and it does need a weed too. The next bed along is the veg in one bed, which you can see. I shall add a card above, a detailed description of that, and the leaning tower of peas. So this one was the onion bed, and it's been planted with carrots, but there is also many weeds, and the pumpkin has decided to attach itself to the cover, so I've not moved the cover in case of breaking the pumpkin. The random tomatoes have just gone crazy, and next time if I do an outdoor bed of tomatoes, they certainly need staking up and not left to roam random. But there are some tomatoes. Thank you. Tomatoes for breakfast. So the next bed along is my strawberry bed. I didn't have great success with these, so I've decided to do a few runners. I've put some trays beside and letting them root into the trays. And in the back we've got asparagus sprouting out high. I don't know what you're supposed to be doing with asparagus. I need to find out. So lots of lavender. Bees are still loving the lavender. Doing really good. And then the tub on the end is the carrots. So they're not looking too bad at all. Not too bad at all. This is the random rhubarb bed, and it does need a weed, as we say. So the next bed along, it's a bit in the shade, but it's the sweet corn bed, and it's actually doing some good now, although it still decreases in size. but it's still nothing compared to the sweet corn in the tunnel. And the sunflowers are doing nice too. The onions next door has been taken up, and I think next year this will be a new strawberry bed. This is a nice random sunflowers, quite a few sunflowers off of one stalk, and they do well in the ground. This is the same sunflower in a pot. As you can tell, pots and the ground ones are quite different. So my kids love making mud pies, so this is an example of one they made here. But anyway, this is the sprouts. I need to get in here and have a weed. And also on the end here is some leeks, but that also needs a weed. Just totally the wrong way for the sun. It's the problem of filming early in the morning, but it's when I come down a lot. Here's another view of the sweet corn. It's looking good. So my daughter planted this alpine strawberry plant just here, so I've left it there, and we'll see what happens with that. I see that we've also left a couple of onions I'll also take home. So the next bed along is my potato bed. All the potatoes have come out of here. But I have a question. Can anybody tell me what these are? I know they're some kind of brassica, but I got these out of the skip at the garden centre, and they were looking a bit worse for wear, so I've just potted them up and I've put them on the ground, and they're doing okay, but I am just wondering what they are. So if you've got any ideas, drop me a comment, be well appreciated. So these have been covered up by my blue covers, and the last lot have not, and they have been eaten. So I do need to make a cover, because they do get eaten up. So the Red Duke of York and the Charlotte and the Arran Pilots will all come out, and I shall post some pictures of the crops. And I still have got 2 rows of King Edwards in here that I have left. This will come up soon. As you can see, the kids didn't put their tools away when they were last here at the weekend. So runner beans have been really good. Really good. Still a few left, but not many more now. Few that have been left not taken. There's a few still on here. But these are very good. Very pleased with these. I did have a long one somewhere. I think the kids have probably taken it now. I kept one. No, it's gone. But anyway, that's the beans. This was my attempt at the sunflower challenge, and they've just killed over and finished. But they're still bringing up new flowers, which is a bonus, because I was just going to dig them up. So I shall leave them and maybe take the heads off, maybe lighten the load, and we shall get a new crop. That's the latest compost bin. The farmer's been and dug up his field this weekend. Been doing lots of manuring, so it's quite healthy out here today. Yeah. So this is my alderman peas, and I've saved them because I wanted to save the seeds for next year. But can someone tell me, are these okay to save? Is this what I should be saving? Or should they look healthier? Please leave me a comment. But I have noticed that some of these old leaves have started flowering again. I actually thought these had all been done, and here there's some new growth and a couple of new peas. And maybe I shouldn't have given up on them. A lesson for learn. And another lesson I'm going to learn is to do more successional, because I've not done that. They all went in at the same time and they're all dying at the same time. So that's a lesson that I need to learn. So going on to my raspberry cage, despite the birds getting in, we have had a few raspberries. But the roof has collapsed, so anything can get in now. But it has been quite productive, but it has got quite messy. As you can see, that's the pathway in. So I think next year, or the winter, these are going to get cut right down. They're just too tall, even coming at the top. So this apple tree on the end of my fruit cage has been really good. We've had so many apples from this. There's still a couple that I can see. But we've had some nice crumble and some nice apple cakes from this. I'm very pleased with that. Been very good. Absolutely wonderful. That's what it's all about. So as you can see, the raspberries have got as tall as the cage. But it does need a good old sorting out, even coming through the cage. Shouldn't be that, but we still have some raspberries, so we should get those before the birds have them. So let's look down on the end, and the lupins are making a second comeback. Even the rhubarb has come back. So this is the flower bed on the end, although there's not many flowers. You can see even something's getting in the cage here. Crafty. Some nice cobwebs in the sunlight. So there we go, and there's the lavender on the end, and the rosemary. So that's all the outdoor plots. So let's have a look inside the polytunnel. Right, so I've not been in the polytunnel for a couple of days, so we should have a look and see what's in there. I know it's going to be a mess because the tomatoes have gone a bit crazy, and we've got a kind of courgette plant in there, and I don't know what it is, but it's going a bit crazy. So let's have a look. So we're totally into the sun, but I'll just show you this on the end of my shed. Is a project that I have done, is to make a little bench on the side of the shed that I've got a few plants on, and this would be handy for making videos and for storing outdoor plants. So we've got some carrots. This is the boxes the kids did. My daughter did one, and our friend came down, so they gave a packet of seeds, and this is what they've done. So that looks good. At the back here there's some squashes. I'm not sure what they are, and some random tomatoes. These were the runners that I just planted up. As you can see, they need some water. And I took a few of the runners of the strawberries, and as you can see, they needed the water too. But lack of rain. So let's come and have a look in the polytunnel. As you can see, it's overgrown. So what have we got in here? Sweet corn. It's gone mad. The courgette plant has gone mad. Tomatoes. So let's have a look. So we go down this way, and as you can see, it's not been weeded, but we have got quite a few tomatoes. But as you can see, some of these are split. That's just because the watering has not been consistent. But there is tomatoes. These are Elsa Craig ones, and the left ones are the Gardener's Delight. But they really do need cutting back. I've just left them run, and they're literally reaching the roof of the tunnel. So I need to chop off all these tops. They've gone a bit mad. But on the right hand side, these are the Alicante ones. These are not doing much now, so I might just finish these. As we can go through, if we can get through. Still loads of tomatoes there. These do need a trim. We are struggling to get through. So anyway, 2 strawberries. This is the loofah of Erica's little Welsh garden gave us. And then the more strawberries. So we have some random marigolds just growing everywhere. And the cucumbers are just finished. It's a grape in the middle. More cucumbers. And some tomatoes that are really dried. But one thing that is doing quite good is the melons. And we actually got a melon. Maybe one. Haven't seen any more. No, no more. But the first time I've looked in here for a while. It's the first time I've seen all these red peppers. And there's some yellow peppers. And some green peppers. And next door, some chilies. Such nice colours. But as you can see, the tomatoes, they're just going to have to be cut back. I'm going to have to spend a good hour or so in here cutting back these. So I'm trying to walk up the path, but it's just absolutely packed. But I have some flowers. They were growing well, but they've just decided to collapse. Not sure why. Whether they hit the roof and decided to fall down. But this one here is broken down and then it's regrowing, raising up again. It's quite interesting. And then next door to the sunflowers is some Brussels sprouts. And then next to that there should be some beetroot, but we can't see that. There's a courgette plant there that's gone absolutely crazy. And then the beans on the end. But I can't get down the path to even look at them. So I think I need to spend this time sorting out these tomatoes. But that's what happens when you leave it. So as I mentioned in the past video of jobs that I needed doing, this polytunnel is actually one of the things that I'm going to change, and by only having one aisle down the middle, because this is a bit crazy. It's just too crazy. So one aisle down the middle, and that'll be good. And wider beds. Let's have a look on the other side, see if we can get down that side. So this is the sweet corn. And there's actually sweet corn there. I'm not actually sure when these are supposed to be done, but I was told when the hair goes brown, they're done. So I'm really not sure. So I shall keep an eye on them. Well, it looks good. I'm a bit worried though they're going to go through the roof. Oh well. So next to the sweet corn is runner beans, but there's no runner beans on here at all. So whether they're not happy with the polytunnel or whether it's not being pollinated, I'm really not sure. But there were just a few left over and I've stuck them in the ground. So this is what I'm really unsure what it is. I know probably people can't tell me. I kind of thought it was a squash, but it's gone absolutely crazy. Can anyone identify what it is? Just from this? But it is absolutely going mad. And it is taking out polytunnel. But in there, you can see, should be some beetroot. And I've also got some leeks in here somewhere. I really don't know where they are. I can't even see them. Nope. Anyone see any leeks? Nope. I do need to get in here. That's the sunflowers that have fallen over, which is a real shame. But we say, I do need to get in here. This is the edge of the tomatoes. And they've gone quite mad. Even high up tomatoes. Now, at least we like tomatoes. So there's one more tunnel. That's got some more tomatoes that I can show you. And then that'll be it. So let's have a look. One thing that has done quite well is the tomato in a gutter. And I've actually had quite a few nice tomatoes from it. It's a good idea. The hanging baskets are all done. So we go around here. This is the kohlrabi I left outside. It should have been indoors. And then we look into the tomato tunnel, and as you can see, they've gone a bit random as they've grown at the top of the tunnel. So let's go and see what's inside. Here we go. Another overgrown random tomatoes. These are the random ones that were from the skip in the garden centre. We've had some nice cherry tomatoes off of these. Nice. But as you can see, they just grow on and on and on. Go on and on and on. So we're not short supply of tomatoes. And this here is the one that's going outside. It's just gone up through the tunnel and out. These tomatoes are absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely lovely. Just like that. Absolutely lovely. Tomatoes at 6 o'clock in the morning. Can't beat it. What's more satisfying than picking beans 6 o'clock in the morning for your lunch later today? Can't beat it. have fun, have a good week, take care. So this is my harvest for today. So a good morning all in all. So let's go home and have some coffee.